Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's another episode of SLTV. We are here with Lucci and Kenny from at Hit the Bid Radio. What's going on, Kenny? Man, what's
What is
going on,
going
baby?
on? All is well. Thanks for having me here on the Wednesday. That is our standard procedure. What you say,
Yeah,
Ken?
yeah, man. No thanks. I mean, dude, I don't even want you here, man. I don't even want you here. You've been singing Pitbull the whole fucking time, man. Tell everybody why you've been singing fucking Pitbull for the last 20 minutes, man.
Well, as you know, all you Christians out there, you Catholics are all having communions now. And as a Jew,
Yes.
I find it awesome that some of these parties that they throw for their 9-year-old kid, and we had a gathering, but wasn't this extraordinary, with a dance floor and a DJ and smoke machines and giving out gifts like we were at a wedding. But if they want to party on a Sunday night for their kid, turning 9 and getting his first communion, we're going to get drunk and listen to Pitbull all night and some old school techno and disco. All hail Jesus. Because we were lit. I mean, for a moment there, I'm thinking, wow, we're at a kid's communion right now, and we're destroyed, going nuts to Native Love on the dance floor with goofy glasses on a Sunday evening. I'm like, all in the name of Jesus.
All right, well, let me ask you: did they edit the curse words of the song? Did they at least do that, or was it N words all over the place when they played the rap music, and
No, it
was it
was.
swears and shit like that?
Yeah, they use the radio versions of most of the stuff, because if they do curse, my little girl would come running over. Dad, they're using bad words. She's very proper.
How
Very
old is
proper
she? How
9-year-old.
old is she? How old is she?
She's 9, and if you curse around her, she.
Bro, that's crazy, man. You know what? If we get the two girls together, like my daughter is 9, and I curse around her,
I
but she
curse
knows
around all the
she
time.
knows not to say it, and she'll like she knows all these words and everything. She knows
Right.
not to say it, but she's comfortable around it, completely comfortable around it, and she thinks it's nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I think it's
yeah.
cool, man. I think it's
I've
cool.
been I've been trying to get her to do a video on YouTube. I've done a couple with her, because
What about
there's
Animal
nothing
Jam?
cuter.
Animal Jam? She's gonna make fucking videos on Animal Jam now,
uh,
son.
There's nothing cuter than old people cursing and small young girls cursing. I wanted to do a video just about, just like calling out the bears in the market. When's this market gonna crash, you dumb fucks? Just it's so funny coming from a little
And she'll
9-year-old
be like,
blonde.
"Daddy." She'll be like, "Daddy, no."
I'm not saying that.
All right, guys, we got a lot to talk about here. Let's get into it. There's a lot of earnings here that we gotta scroll through here, and then we also want to talk about this flash crash being brought up again, and them chasing after my fellow Indian man, my fellow Punjabi guy, who is a lone trader out there, has a company, has a fund out there in London, and they're going after him, pressing criminal charges. So we're going to talk about that too. But first, let's talk about this Facebook. Let's talk about this Facebook here. Revenues, I think they beat. Let's look at the numbers here. Let's see. EPS 42 versus 40 cents expected. I think revenue came in a little light, and Facebook now is trading at 83. So there was like a $4 expected move in this. Most of these people are going to get washed out here. Are you messing around with social media at all, Kenny?
No, I'm still a fan of the stock, just because stocks that go to 80 generally will go to 100. I
Oh,
inevitably think.
by the way, they got they said they got 1.4 billion users now. Somewhere around 1.4, 1.45 billion motherfucking users, man. You want to talk about mind control? That's what
Yeah,
it is, man. That's what it is right there.
yeah. Remember when AOL had all those users too? We never thought they would fail. Not that I'm saying Facebook's going to fail. I mean,
Right,
the only way I would trade it, again, I'm a reversal kind of guy. So
right.
personally, if it does open up down today, tomorrow morning, and this thing goes green, I'll be buying those 83.50 calls, I'm sure, pretty
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. And then I would also say anybody who's looking at this particular name going forward, I would look at like 4 days ago when they really tried to wash everybody out in Facebook and Apple. Market came back. Remember, we had that like Friday sell-off day,
Hey,
right? We had
remember
that.
that?
You remember that? You remember the 20 handles we were down on fucking Friday, and then another 10 on top of that. So we gapped up. As soon as we gapped up on Monday, they went straight for Apple and straight for Facebook. They went straight for these two names. So to me, I think if you can get this thing under 83 or best even under 82, I mean, I think you got to take it long. I really do. I really do. I think you got to take it long. And then you look at Twitter, which still hasn't moved. Obviously, we got earnings coming up, so you still got to wait around for that. And then you got the LinkedIn. LinkedIn always moves a considerable amount on earnings as well. It's a very illiquid stock, so I'd be careful if you want to play the options here. But I like Facebook. I like Facebook regardless of what they're saying here on this earnings thing. And then we got eBay. Then we got your boy eBay. You got a position in eBay right now, right?
Yeah, I've been carrying it for a while, and I just decided, considering I'm in from 50, so I was like, all right, am I going to give all this money back on this report, or am I going to blast off? So it was basically, I gave it a shot. I'm in eBay since the idea that they were going to spin off PayPal. The way I look at it is, I forgot the correlation, but there was another. I'm sorry, Yahoo and Alibaba.
Yahoo and
Alibaba. Owned Yahoo for quite a while was because you knew that they were going to get some cash from Alibaba. Same scenario here with the eBay. Why not own the stock? And as they're working out the details of the PayPal, I just figured it would be strong going into that. And it's not going to happen probably till the end of the year. So I think eBay is going to be $75 stock. So I'm not even selling it here on this 5% pop. We're only 2 points away from all-time highs. I think this thing's got 15 more points to go.
All you haters and trolls out there, all right? All you haters and trolls out there, get ready. Kenny is now become an analyst, man. He should put his ass on CNBC. $75 on eBay.
Wait, if I'm an analyst, then I'm not giving you a time limit. I'm just going to say I think it goes to 75. Sometime it might happen. I have no position, or I don't have, none of my friends or family or my
You're not even alone. Yeah, you're not even alone, because we're gonna wake up tomorrow and there's gonna be somebody who puts up a $75 price target anyway on eBay anyway after this earnings report. Yeah. There's gonna be somebody anyway. All right, so let's move on. Let's move on to the casinos here. We got Las Vegas Sands. That revenue, I think revenue was a little bit light. They missed on it. Was a big miss, I guess, and stock is down a considerable amount. Casinos suck. Like casinos, there is no bid in these casinos. They're even worse than the financials. Like when I look at Bank of America, they're not even as bad as some of these casino charts, like LVS and Wynn, especially the Wynn. These things still can find zero bid whatsoever, and I don't understand that either, man. I mean, you'd figure, a lot more people would be flocking to these casinos here. Why are they getting hit on the chin like this? I don't know. Everybody's speculating, but I have no idea. It doesn't make sense to me. I figure, economy's doing well. Everybody has all this cash. People are rich again. Their house values have gone up. Why aren't people, gambling here?
Oversupply. Just the same reason they're closing down all these casinos in Atlantic City. Now you don't have to drive too far to get a full-blown casino. I mean, the casino right by my grandmother's house down in Hollywood, they had a full-blown Hard Rock casino. I had no idea. 20 minutes from my grandma down in Florida. I mean, there's casinos everywhere. This is not 1991 where there was this monster expansion. You could buy slot machine companies and any casino stock you wanted. And again, a lot of the money from Wynn was coming from Macau. And Macau apparently is not doing as well as everybody thought. So really no reason to own Wynn anymore. It was exciting when the stock was at $30 and everybody was giving up on it then.
Of course. And then Las Vegas Sands was at like $1.70.
Oh, it was like 20 cents or something like that.
$1.70. I remember I bought the equity at $3 and I sold it at $7. I thought I was the motherfucking man, bro. And had I have just held it, man, shit, I could have sold it at $45, man.
I had a buddy that retired on that stock. He begged me to buy it. He's like, they don't know what they're doing, because he knew about the debt. And people were buying the Las Vegas Sands debt. And he's like, there's no way they're letting this thing go under. You got to buy the equity here at $3 or $4. The thing could be $30, $40 in a couple of years. And it was. And the dude's never worked again in his life.
Wow. That's a dope story, man. I love hearing shit like that. I really do love hearing shit. How old is that guy?
He's my age. What's up, Ian? Nice life. Nice life you got.
Nice, man. Nice. I love hearing those stories. All right, so moving on here. Actually, Stevie Wynn is also working out in Boston now. So there's going to be 2 new casinos, possibly 3 out here in Boston. So you got a good point there with the saturation here. A lot of this stuff.
Go on. I got a lot of calls about buying LVS going into the number because there was
Right.
some big call buying. And this
Yo, there was a lot of call buying in MGM too. There was a lot of call buying in the past week in MGM too.
This always begs me to, and again, I've been doing this my whole life, and I've always wondered, just because you see some monster trade when the open interest is 220, and you see a trade go on for 600 calls,
no doubt.
Why does everybody just assume there's a big player out there buying 5,600 calls? This thing's got to go up. Why?
So
why does it have to be that? I understand the train of thought, but maybe this guy's got 560,000 shares in a hedge fund somewhere that he's hedging with those calls. Maybe he's got something else somewhere, or maybe he's even shorting the calls. Everybody just assumes big block, got to go in that direction.
So I got to make a comment on that too, because now since Sang Lucci has sort of merged with Wall Street Jesus, the chat room now is really getting pumped up with a lot of the a lot of the different options activity, a lot of the UOA, which they call it, unusual options activity, right? And you'll see these big bets that go off here and there that might be outdated a little bit, 3 months, 4 months, whatever, and I will see a lot of just dinglings just going right into these things and just running right into these things and trading them, and you need to have an understanding of the market too to really capitalize on some of this stuff, and we do a good job of sort of specifying what kind of activity means you should do X, Y, and Z, but you still get all these dumbass options newbies that are like, holy shit, this guy put a $2 million bet on, let's go fucking gadget here. You know what I mean? I've been seeing bets like that on Bank of America for the last like 3-4 months, bro. And all of them have gotten crushed, man,
Right.
So anyways, moving on. We got to talk about white people. We got to talk about our Chipotle, man. We got to talk about Mexican food now. What is the status of Mexican food in America, my friend? What is the status? And you know what? Since you made the argument that casinos are oversaturated, can we also make the argument now, after Chipotle bust these earnings? And by the way, it wasn't that bad. They beat on the EPS, but they were a slight miss on the revenue. Can we make the statement that white people have clearly overdone Mexican food in this country? Can we at least agree on this?
No.
What the fuck, man?
We can't get enough. I will, and again, when I eat a burrito after Chipotle, I need to take a nap. All right? You've seen the South Park episode where they crap their pants and the whole thing.
Yes.
I need a nap after that's why I can't eat them for lunch, because I'm done for the day. But I will continue to eat these until, they just make me spontaneously combust. And until we get Chipotles on every corner like Starbucks, will I think that they have saturated the market. I still got to drive 15, 20 minutes to get to my Chipotle. So until there's one on a walking distance, the stock's going $1 million. I don't.
and you know what? They haven't even rolled out their little Asian inspired. They have a couple test stores of their Asian inspired, chain, and I think they're trying pizza or some other shit like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're trying both of these things. And Panera, by the way, like Panera is already, like, their earnings were great. Panera's already at all-time highs. They ripped the Vietnamese pho. So their whole new thing is the soups. You're right. So you get the noodle soups over there now at Panera. I've never eaten at Panera. Every time I go in there, there's that funky,
I've never eaten there either.
There's that funky ass smell, man. It smells like stale bread or I don't know what it is.
Yeah. It smells like a heated up dirty mop in there. Like somebody took a dirty mop, threw it in the microwave. I know what you're talking, because my wife, she'd go to the some doctor, blood test, blah, blah, blah. There was a Panera right there. And every time I go in there, she likes, I forgot what she gets in there, but I'm like, doesn't you smell what this place smells like? It's so funny. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, it smells like butt in here. I mean, it's not good. But if Chipotle, this is kind of frightening right now. If Chipotle's about to branch into something new, it kind of smells like they're jumping the shark here, maybe. And that could be a bad thing. When they're stretching for new ideas, maybe there's something to it that's a negative.
Right. Right. And clearly with the stock, by the way, the stock closed in the after hours session probably around like 665 and kept leaning back on like 670. So I figured it was just going to open and go back, but they washed the shit out, man. I mean, people apparently people got a little scared. So she's back to levels that we haven't seen since the end of last year. And if you go back to, let's say, like a year chart, like she hasn't retested 600 in a while. But how do you short anything in this fucking market, especially these high flyers? I mean, do you remember me short Tesla, with all kinds of size through 200, like looking for that, and look at that today. You see the Tesla pump today back up to 220. I believe you called out a buy on that last week, did you not?
Yeah, I liked it. I like it. I'm a believer. And the Solar City popped also. Now, I don't really watch Solar City as much anymore because to me, solar is like this. Well, the whole market really is just is smoke and mirrors. But solar in particular, I mean, it's been, again, I've said this a million times, it's been 30 years they've been saying solar is going to change the world. Is it?
Yeah, we've had that conversation a lot. Anybody who's watched SLTV for a while, like both Kenny and I are in agreement on that whole thing. Especially, and again, we bring up the people that come around the suburban neighborhoods to try to sell you on why you should convert to fucking solar. Like if you're employing the College Works method here and employing a bunch of college kids to run around these neighborhoods to sell me a fucking solar panel, then why the hell do I need this shit, man? You know what I mean? Why the hell do I need this shit?
Right, totally.
All right, so we got some interaction on Twitter here. They got some questions here. They want us to take a look at a couple of stocks here. We have gold and silver. We have at Michael Jakuki. I don't know if that's how I'm supposed to say it. I hope I'm not butchering your name. But you know what? After all the years that my name has been butchered, you deserve it, my friend. So he's talking gold and silver. I know you trade some of the miners and everything. So do you have any opinion on gold and silver here?
The large picture, I believe gold and silver trade is over. I believe it was a fad, just like solar was, and just like Chipotle might be a fad. I thought Chipotle was a fad at one point. I was like, these lines can't last. But
you know what else you thought was a fad? It was a Shake Shack too, man. You thought Shake Shack was a fad too.
We should talk about that because I don't understand how there could be talking short squeeze already. I mean, how much shares could you get short of an IPO that just came out? But anyway, gold and silver. I still think gold is going all the way back to where it broke out from, which is around $8.80 an ounce. I'm a fan of these JDSTs, these anti-gold ETFs. They trade. They're absurd. That you can make $1 on a $9 stock like JDST. If you don't know, that's the mining. Yeah, the mining one. Again, I'm still not as versed as I should be on these things. I just trade, on price. And every time this thing gets back down to around $8.85, it just, pops back to $10. And if I could do that, every 2 weeks, I'll take that percentage gain. But I'm not a fan. I if I'm gonna have to buy something, I'd rather buy the silver on the dips. Yep. But there are no dips. Silver, where's SLV? I haven't even looked at it.
SLV is right back to where she came from, bro.
Same thing. It's been for, it seems like a year now.
Yeah, these things look like the natural gas ETFs and the UVXY. These things look like that. They look like that. They honestly look like that. Obviously, it's a lot different, and they have nothing to do with each other. But they clearly just keep coming back to lows. And it looks like the sell call trade kind of thing. Anytime you get a pop, just like you would do in the VIX and just like you would do in UVXY. I know there's a lot of people speculating that if Greece is still an issue and it doesn't get resolved or whatever, maybe will people finally run into gold? Like, guys, if that trade hasn't worked with all the shit that has been a possibility over the last 3 fucking years, I highly doubt that even if Greece exits, anybody will rush into gold. You might get a pop here and there, but dude, be easy on that. Be easy on that trade.
Right. I think you're onto that. We haven't seen that rush. What in the 7 or 8 moments where this market looked like it was gonna go down,
gonna crash.
You didn't see any rush into the gold and silver like we used to. That trade, I think, is finally done. Yep. If silver's gonna make another move, it'll be on some rumor that there's some sort of shortage of it. Somebody will get a rumor going, just like the flash crash. They'll flash crash some or
Yep.
flash rally silver somehow.
Yep. And guys, we're gonna get into the flash crash in a couple seconds. We got a few more names here to discuss on Twitter. They're loving the discussion right now. What do we got? We got Tiva. We got Tiva. We got PRGO. And then we got MYL. Tiva, I have seen a lot of call activity come into this one recently. And I think that's why if you look at a 10-day on this, you'll see these rando fucking spike ups. But at the same time, like all of those are being sold off as well. So I'd be a little careful here. I'd be a little careful. This looks it looks kind of toppy, but then again, this is pharma, so anything can happen whatsoever. But it looks news related, so it's like buy some time and hope for some fucking news to come out at this point. That's what it looks like to me. What do you got on some of these other names?
It's funny that I hadn't watched Teva. Teva was one of the pharmaceutical companies that was around when I was a broker. I'm talking about. You know, this was like the first pharmaceutical companies I ever heard of.
So what is that? 78? What is that? 72?
I haven't looked at this stock probably since then, up until a couple of days ago. Yeah. Because you know it's been just going absolutely batshit insane. But
right.
Trying to trade it intraday, I don't like the way the bids and offers, they just disappear and then they come back. It's one of those. It's a little bit too whippy. I don't know anything about the company anymore. I remember it was everybody's favorite stock. That and remember Callaway Golf.
Callaway Golf.
Wow. My company was selling Teva and ELY, and that was it. That's all anybody knew about.
ELY, guys. If you take a look at the pharma index, though, so if you go to IBB, that's your biotech index. I mean, it's a little bit different, but you know, this thing faded off from that crazy gap up at like 374, and now it's like all the way back up. And if you look at a lot of these other biotech names, like Gilead, for example, like had a great day yesterday. You know, they all still look pretty damn good. So if again there's more rotation into the sector, you know, you could end up benefiting from that. We have some more on credit cards. I don't know if you saw the move in the fucking credit cards today. That shit was crazy. So Visa, MasterCard, and AXP. Take a look at those, bro. There was some news that they were going to get allowed back into I believe it was China related. Let me look up the news right now. What do you got? What do you think about these credit cards there, Kenny?
I have never strayed from the path. I wish I had never just sold anything. When I bought the IPO on Visa, I mean, it's not too often there you can have a monopoly, really. I mean, Visa, MasterCard,
that IPO on Visa was what? I think the cheapest you could get it was $50, right? Or was it 25? I don't know. And the stock split. 80. Yeah, 80.
Opened to 80, almost went to the 100, so I sold it when it didn't break the 100. Then it crashed down to like $50.
Yes, I remember. And that was the dip buy, right there. And I remember MasterCard was the one that you could have got for like 50, and then before it split, it went up to like 700 or something like that.
And then there was that day where it was down 70 points, and sort of conspiracy. I forgot what it was, but and
look
back to that day.
Yeah, so the news was, let's see. News that China will open its domestic market to other card payment networks. So MasterCard, AXP, and Visa were the ones that popped off the news. AXP has been a little bit depressed. Like MasterCard and Visa are the ones that, you know, that are killing it right now. And then this Dyfus reported earnings today, and that stock is down. So I'm not sure about that one. So the weak ones are Dyfus and American Express. I mean, you can play the catch-up trade, but guys, the catch-up trade is tough, man. I mean, Kenny will tell you too. We'll both tell you that catch-up trade. The fucking things never catch up for some reason. You know, they never catch up for some damn reason.
Yeah, Visa has gone way too far. I mean, it's probably gonna go, you know, right back to 100 again.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those stocks. It's like, you know, Priceline and Chipotle, and you know, they're cult stocks. They're top of the food chain, and you know, why wouldn't you want to own one of those? Either one of the AXP, MasterCard, or Visa. But I'm looking still, you know, and what's hard to find right now are stocks that are still downtrodden. And we're not going to talk about the BTUs and the cliffs because those suck.
Yeah, those suck. There's no money going into Kohl's, and there's no freaking money going into some of these beat down natural gas names. You know, like you look at A&R.
There is one.
Okay, what is it?
It's not nat gas, but it's oil, PBR.
PBR. That's the
I told you
Petrobras,
guys
right?
about it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Got, just like this market, any stock really needs is a catalyst and a kick in the ass,
Right.
and then the short squeeze begins.
Right.
PBR got that kick in the ass a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
I think it almost, maybe it dipped under 5. I don't know. No. All right. Yeah. So when it broke right around this 615 area is when we really started getting interested. You know, obviously when a stock's getting its ass kicked so much like that, and you see it under 5, and then you see it at 615, for a moment you're thinking, did I just miss a huge move already? Why am I chasing this? So I just bought options, figuring, hey, if this thing really gets a squeeze going, maybe it gets to $9. So I bought the June 9s for 70 cents, and then I bought the stock, you know, 615. I wound up buying more at 666 just for a goof because I'm a big Iron Maiden fan.
Yep.
But stock worked out really well. They're going to be reporting,
touring?
I think, tonight.
Are they still touring? Is Iron Maiden still fucking touring?
Iron Maiden will never stop touring.
Yo, these motherfuckers need to stop. They need to crawl into a grave. They need to crawl into that grave and just be done with it. Like, I don't want to see Angus Young. Did you see that Van Halen came out with a new fucking CD? I don't want to see Eddie Van Halen on stage. He looks decrepit, bro. He looks decrepit.
Yeah,
decrepit, man. It doesn't have the same pizzazz, man, when they sit there and play Hot for Teacher. Like, come on, these guys are about to die on stage, man. I don't want to fucking see that.
Yeah, Iron Maiden did. I mean, this was like 15 years ago. I couldn't believe they were still touring then. I went to go see them, and all he kept yelling was keeping metal alive and playing all these new tracks. I was like, run to the hills, bitch. Come on.
All right.
Keeping metal alive.
All
Sing
right.
for me, Long Beach.
God. All right. So we got one more segment to talk about, and then let's hit this flash crash stuff. Anybody who has comments on, the gentleman who is being raised on criminal charges here for possibly helping to start the flash crash. He wasn't actually, charged with actually causing it, but definitely contributing. If anybody has comments, hit us up on Twitter. I definitely want to hear about all of this because I'm about to go off and talk some shit. Let's talk about the rails, though. I don't know if you look at these rails at all, but you got CP, you got UNP,
Rails?
you got CSX, and then you have what is the other one? You have NSC. So all of these rails have been really bullish lately, especially the CSX, and this is the one with a lot of the unusual options, activity and things like that. There's a lot of people out there that are talking about a possible buyout. I think this is pretty bullish for the market too. Like if you get a lot of bullishness in the rails and a lot of these sort of industrial names here, it's pretty bullish. Caterpillar, we got earnings, I think, tomorrow. So, that could set the stage for something bigger. But do you trade the rails? What do you think about these rails here, man?
I don't trade it. Last thing I traded was the CSX, right? Because they reported that was one of my trades of earnings season.
Yeah,
they reported decent numbers, and I think it reversed and went red that day. So I traded it. That's all I know about it.
Yeah. So they actually pre-announced. I think they pre-announced and they guided lower or something like that. And then all of a sudden, like some of the other rails reported, and everything was fine, and then people just started buying it up. So you could even make the case that news was complete bogus, and it was there so that somebody could get a position. I would even go as far as to say that. Because it dropped every single one of these rails. Like CP dumped, I think it was CP actually that got it lower. I don't know, one of these names, and this thing dumped like 10 points or so, and they're all back to looking pretty good. So guys, watch the activity in some of these. It's pretty whipsaw though. So you'll get some of these names that go up 5 points in one day and then dump 5 points the next and then rip 7 the next. So get ready for some crazy shit. Like if you trade NSC or you trade CP, like these things are nuts. I would stick with CSX. It's a little bit more thicker. You can kind of get in and out of some options volume with stuff like that. Anything else before we hit this flash crash here, Kenny? Anything else you got on your mind here that you want to throw out? By the way, your boy at Ishmael Rufus here, he said he's holding 13 calls until next year for PBR. He's doing that for you, man, buddy.
All right, cool, man. Yeah, this is going to be either a hit or miss. I mean, they're sitting on gold, but did they collect the gold illegally? Is there a conspiracy? Nobody wants to own a stock when management's corrupt because it's just going to lead to the demise of the company no matter what goes on. And the thing could go into down into litigation, get halted, and sit and freeze, and then they'll come out and they'll get restructured. Again, I speculated it on after they had that influx of the money,
Right.
but I'm out of 90% of it right now. I still, there's no reason I want to get out of it completely right now, but I'm using actually today's low as the last straw. And again, hopefully it doesn't gap below 850, 849. It was supposed to report tonight, but it looks like they've been delayed again, which is never encouraging.
Right. All right, guys. So let's talk about the big story of the day. Let's spend some time on this one, and then we'll call it a day. We'll leave you guys for the rest of the week. Let's talk about this blaming of the flash crash. And by the way, let me just give you a backstory on this. All right. So basically, this is a trader who, by the way, is 36 fucking years old. He is the sole employee of this fund, and the fund is called Sorrel something. And basically, they brought up charges on him that he used this layering strategy, and they defined this strategy in all of the documents, all of the charging documents. But basically, it's a form of spoofing where a trader places multiple bogus orders that the trader does not have the intention to actually execute. And they're saying that 29% of this type of volume, and by the way, there were so many other firms and a lot of other people that do this at the same time, right? So they just singled out this guy because his percentage apparently was higher than most of that volume for the day, and he did it by himself. And he was saying that there was a lot of sell weight. Or sort of selling orders that weighted down the indexes, and that's what sort of caused the catalyst. That was the sort of starting catalyst, or at least contributed to that big Dow drop. And there's a lot of details obviously behind it. They finally just I guess put a $7.5 million bail on this guy, and they're trying to extradite him to America, and he is saying, he's going to fight extradition and blah, 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 all that kind of other stuff. Now, key points here. Number one key point for me is this guy's name is Navinder Singh, right? He's an Indian guy. He's 36, right? And he's a lone trader, lone employee of this fund, right? And it's like, how come they didn't catch this guy before? And the broker that he worked with obviously worked very closely with him to outline how he's actually going to pull off this strategy. And basically, he puts so much risk out there, billions of dollars of risk, to make, let's say, $500,000 or $1 million, right? And that's what he does on a consistent basis. And he didn't really make that much either off the crash itself. But that activity was basically defined, and they're going after this guy. Me personally, I look at this and I'm like, this guy's a scapegoat, man. I look at this and I'm like, this guy's a scapegoat. Why 5 years after now? And CFTC and the CME, like, how come they couldn't find this fucking guy before? Yeah. Are we that fucked up in that system that nobody can trace anything? And where was the broker? Where's the broker in all this stuff? Like the broker who was the one that was like, okay, yeah, we'll do whatever the fuck you want to do. Obviously, they don't know what the outcome of what he's trying to do is. They don't give a shit as long as he's pushing volume. But that's the system, right? So if this guy pulled it off, this guy's 36, lone man in fucking London. He worked in banking, and he did this shit himself, bro. Like, that shit is crazy, man. That shit is crazy. He makes everybody look like a fucking idiot at that point. You know what I mean? If this one guy pulled this shit off himself.
I don't even know where to begin. First of all, what he was doing, my friend Sal, sorry, throwing on the table, Sal, he was doing this back in 1998, 1999. The guy was like a savant. All he would do was be bidding and offering stocks all to himself and just driving the price back and forth and just, there you go. He was like the original rebate trader, and he was doing whatever he was doing. The SEC,
and he was doing that manually. He was doing that manually, correct?
Manually. It was insane. Manually. Like, it was just hitting Shift F1 and Shift F11, like, and then hitting the cancel button with his nose. It was dude was doing like 40 million shares a day to himself. But he was making, at the end of the day, which was crazy, he was making like $3 or $4 grand a day.
Right.
His commissions were $10,000.
And his commissions were 10 grand. Exactly. That was, by the way, like that similar type of strategy. That's what propelled the prop industry for a while. That's all they were doing, just that rebate style of trading, manual executions. But at the end of the day, you'd rack up these commissions. What
he was trying to do is by sending all those orders on one side is then he would manipulate people thinking that there was lots of guys on the offer. So then he would join the bid and catch those guys, and then stack the bid and then offer it back out and just
So this is nothing new.
Back and forth to himself.
Right.
And so when the SEC and NASDAQ called us, they said we were manipulating the stock. But again, all he's really doing is sending a lot of orders.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
What is he really doing? Because if I send 1 million orders and there's somebody out there that wants to buy them, the guy's gonna be like, thanks for sending all those orders, asshole. Gobble, gobble, gobble. The market was ready to crash that moment also, I think. And that was just the trigger. And, it was more than that guy. Like you said, he's a scapegoat. They need to blame somebody, just like Deflategate. Whatever happened to that? What about the footballs? What about the fucking footballs? God damn it!
Yo, don't bring that shit up, man. You can't even bring that shit up. My Patriots won, baby. My Patriots fucking won, man. It doesn't matter. As soon as they won, that's what shut it down, man. That's what shut it down. If they didn't win, I bet it would still last. But anyways, to go back to your point.
Same guy that did Deflategate, they investigated this flash crash guy. But if anybody wants to see what the flash crash did to me, I made videos live as I was in the middle of that, and you could see the sweat coming off my face, and I was just in terror. It was incredible.
So were you down? Were you long? So you were long positions. That's what it was. So you were long positions.
I'll give you my story if you guys want to watch. I think I did a video with Rambo.
This shit live? You recorded this shit live? Give me the link, bro. Give me the link.
I got to figure. I named them something really stupid. So it was on my old channel. I think you could type in flash crash and hit the bid or something like that, and you'll get some of them. But
all right, but give us the spiel. I mean, what happened?
What happened was I was a big naked spread, naked straddle seller.
Oh, okay, so that's why.
I'm short about 400, maybe 700 puts. I'm also short like about 600, calls all in the queues, and they all went to zero bid. 90 offer at one point. So my account at one point it flashed down 2.7 million.
Oh my god!
And I was like, what? Because all it did was compute if I had to buy all those options back at the offer price.
At the offer price.
So and then my kid, I see the bus coming, and I got to get my little baby off the bus. And I go out there, get inside! I don't know what's happening. If anybody calls, tell them I don't have the money. My kid's like, what happened, Dad? I'm calling my wife. Look, I might have to hit the road if anybody looks for the money. Look, I only got 100 grand in the account. They can't get any more than I have. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I don't know, but I think I owe $2.7 million right now. And I'm freaking out, and I'm filming the whole thing because I figured I better say this for posterity as I'm losing my shit.
Oh, my God.
And then it started to firm up. And then I'm sitting there trying to put in orders, and you couldn't get orders. I don't care who said they got stuff near the lowest. I was trying to buy shit. You weren't getting printed on anything. It was just nuts.
This makes sense now because, guys, like Kenny walked into my office in New York City, like I think it was like 2 months ago, and I was talking about selling naked shit or something because I was actually short naked calls on Priceline or something. I was short naked something. And Kenny had this look of fucking death on his face. Now it makes sense. Now it all makes sense. Because, guys, if you're short naked and catastrophe happens, that's when you are going to get wiped out. But you're not even going to get wiped out as far as your whole account. You're going to get wiped out beyond your whole account. That's the worst part about it, right? So it's not like, let's say you got 100 G's, you lose the 100 grand. You're going to lose the 100 grand plus a mil on top. If catastrophe happens, you know what I'm saying?
I've always been curious. What would have happened? Like, what do they do? They sue me for the money? You ain't getting the money.
You ain't getting the money. You ain't getting the brokers got to know, like, we ain't getting this shit.
Flash crash. As I'm in prison, I don't want, what are you in for? Man, flash crash. Flash crash. Flash crash. Or he got that
He's at Arkham Asylum, like he just saw the fucking scarecrow, man.
yeah.
Flash crash.
Some
Flash crash.
Nazi would have tattooed that shit across my head as I'm sitting in prison as they're trying to get the $2.7 million from my wife coming to visit me. Flash crash. Flash crash.
So I mean, all in all, I would say on this thing is that, you know, since the flash crash did happen, like nobody had an answer to it. You know, the CFTC especially, they had no answers to it. And then you had all these intellectuals come out and say, even in defense of HFT, and said it wasn't HFT. It was just, you know, it was just a catalyst event, you know, selling and this and that. There were so many different theories on what happened. And now we have, like, you know, and now that this is here, it's like, what the fuck, man? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me that they're gonna single this guy out? Because all the big HFT firms do this, you know, and then all kinds of traders like him do this. You know, that sort of order spoofing and things like that. And since the Dodd-Frank Act, you remember the fucking Dodd-Frank Act? You remember Barney Frank, and you remember them passing this fucking thing, right? And one of the provisions in there was like proving intent, you know. But the problem was there was no SEC enforcement on that, because how the fuck do you prove intent on, you know, such small sort of volume here? And now that this guy's doing this crazy volume as far as order spoofing, which HFT already does and all these kind of other groups do, what the fuck, man? Why are you singling this guy out? You know what I mean? Why are you singling this guy out? And why does he have to be brown, bro? Why does he have to be brown, man? Why does that have to happen, man? For the insider trading, who do they single out, man? All three of them were brown guys, man. You got Rajat Gupta, you got the Sri Lankan guy, Rajaratnam, and then you got Matthew, the guy who worked for Cohen, man. You got the guy who worked for Cohen. Cohen walked off scot-free, man. And they blamed it all on this guy, on the brown guy. Why, Kenny? Why does that have to happen?
Well, I'm glad it wasn't a Jew, I guess, so.
All right, guys.
All the money problems, blame it on the Jews.
Shit, man. All right, guys. So we're going to close it up here for this week's episode here. Make sure you guys watch all our previous episodes on YouTube. You can catch them on SangLucci.com. Where can they find you, Kenny? Did you read
me on Stock Twits and Twitter? If you want to get in touch with me, just email me at info@hitthebid.com. We can talk about VWAP and reversals, because really that's all I do. And it's awesome, you know. Did you know 6 trades today? Not killing it, but again, they're high probability trades, and you know it's these grind up days where basically I get most annoyed because there are no reversals. We just sit there watching the market go up slowly, and you don't really know what to do. And then at the end of the day, and again, I said this to you last time we had one of these days, but this is the kind of day where some asshole that you know on the street walks up to you. You must have had a great day today, man. That market was up 250, bro.
Yep. I get those all the time. And then especially the market tanks. The market tanks 350. They'll look at their 401k and say, but you must have did good. You're killing all my money. You're taking all my fucking money. You fucking shorter. You're shorter. They don't even know what the fuck it means, man.
I'm a big fan of shorting stock, so.
All right, guys. Take care, everybody. We will see you next Wednesday on SLTV, man. Guys, watch Twitter for the links and everything. And anybody who wants a chat room, by the way, wants a little community, check out SangLucci.com. We got a new chat room here, a lot of good activity, a lot of stuff popping off in the Sang Lucci world. So, guys, check it out. We'll see you next week, Kenny. Thanks, man.
Hey, before I go, I'm launching a new website because I'm home a lot, and it's called Lonely Housewives. And if you need a helping hand, I'm available between the hours of 12 and 2 for any kind of talk that you might need. You know, do
you have a fee? Are you going to charge these motherfuckers, or are you just going to do this out of the goodness? Out of the good. All right. That's enough. I'm cutting you the fuck off, guys. We'll see you next Wednesday. All right.
All right. Later, bro.